How's it going? I've got some things I want to talk about today. The Kioti, for the most part. Pros and cons, tips and tricks, my experiences so far. So stick around and we'll talk about tractors. Alright, this is the, I guess it's a 2020 Kioti CK3510SE. I purchased it in the year of 2020. They don't really have model years, they just got serial numbers and they just keep adding on and on until every year they're sold. So I brought it home with about 10 hours on it. I now have 85.9, I think I just checked the hour meter. And it's been a great tractor. I've been really happy with it so far. Today I want to just kind of talk about the tractor, give you a little tour of it, show, this is the SE, so show what the SE includes, and then talk about maintenance and maybe have a little highlight reel of, you've seen it in other videos already, so I've got plenty of footage on it. I'm just not actually looking at the unit itself. So I got a lot of things to talk about, so let's get to it. So as I said, this is a CK3510SE. It has the hydrostatic transmission HST, and it also has a KL4030 loader on the front. I got a set of pallet forks, and then I also have a carryall on the back. That's all I have, nothing else yet. But this is the SE version, special edition I think it is. A bunch of stuff comes with the SE compared to the regular CK3510, and I'm going to cover that right now. So basics of it are primarily in the cab. There's a couple of things in the back on the 3-point lift that is different between the SE and the normal, the base model. One thing is the tilt steering wheel. That'll go up and down for your comfort. It comes with cruise control. It has a switch here that controls, if you put it on auto and you have implement running off the PTO and you decide to lift up the 3-point lift, the switch, when it's on auto, will shut that PTO off automatically so you don't burn out bearings or U-joints or anything like that. It has the linked pedal, so what that does is you can set your throttle wherever you want, but then if you need more RPMs, as you push the pedal down further, the RPMs will increase. I actually really enjoy it. The seat on this tractor is improved compared to the base model. I do believe that it's a different design seat, and also comes with 2 armrests. I don't know if this is on the base tractor or not, but down inside here, along the side, there's actually a 12-volt plug-in for maybe charging cell phones or whatever. There's a little holder here to put cell phones in or any other devices. Maybe you could actually, I've had cans of soda fit in this little holder. And then there's a cup holder on the other side. It comes with side mirrors on it as well. Let's check out this side of the cab. So we got the side mirror on this side again. Here's the throttle. Right here's a switch for DPF. If you need to do a regen, you can cancel it and do it later if you need to. And then the hazard switch as well. Parking brake is down here. Back up to the cab. In the SE model, there is the automatic PTO on and off button here. Never use it. I don't have an implement that runs PTO yet. I believe on the base model, there's actually a clutch on the left side on the floor that you engage with your foot. And with the SE, the big thing I think is the selling point for the SEs is that it comes with rear remotes already. So right here are the rear remotes. Here's one side and the other side. I haven't used them yet, as I said. It's been all I have on here is the carryall. But what else we can get with the SE? If I zoom you down here, see here's the telescoping links, telescoping lower links here, and then the telescoping control arms, I think you call them. I have to double check my notes. With this telescoping links here, makes the hookup to your 3-point implement a little easier. in case you don't have the quick attach. And then the telescoping arms here work pretty slick as well. So that comes standard. I think the telescoping links and stabilizing arms, I think that's what they are. They come standard on the SE like this. On the standard, I think these are turnbuckles similar to this, and then these are just hard, the links on the bottom. Comes with the toolbox here. Does fine. I've got a few pins in it and things, but I don't really go anywhere, so I don't need too much tools in it. So that's the cab for the most part on the SE, what comes with it. Alright, if you come around the back here, this is the fuel tank, and it actually is I like it. It's in a really nice spot. I've used other tractors that the fuel tank's up on top of the hood, and I feel like this is a little easier just to get fuel in and not worrying about dumping it all over anything else in case something happens. And you can actually, it really works really good. You can set the, if you have the fuel cans that have the lip on it, you can set it right on this edge here, and pretty much take the fuel can takes most of the weight from when you're dumping it in. All right, the 4KL4030 loader. I'm actually really happy with it. It's got a great lift capacity. I can lift quite a bit. With the way I have it set up right now, I can lift as much as I can to get up to the loader capacity. I grease it every 10 hours, and that's per the service manual. So I did it at 80 hours. Got another one coming up at 90 hours. The loader comes with a stick on the side to a level indicator, and this level indicator is pretty nice. What I did was I marked it with tape. Here I got, you can't see the white tape, it's down inside. The seam is right at the top of the indicator. But I leveled out the forks, and that's what the seam between the blue and the white is. I wanted to, because I noticed that the forks actually level a little bit differently than the bucket does. And when I put the bucket on, I look at the red tape. I believe if the bottom of the red tape, the bucket is level. I think you can actually cut the rod off, but I didn't want to do that because, as you can tell, the forks and the bucket are a little bit different for level on this specific model of forks. This here is the loader control arm. I actually want to get to the third function hydraulics as well, and then I'd like to do the Kioti one because they have a different control arm, a handle for the 3-point function, but I haven't gotten that yet. I think it's about $800–900 as of last fall. Who knows what it is right now with the way things are. All right, this knob right here is for controlling how fast the 3-point hitch drops when you let it down. Here's 4-wheel drive, nice intuitive spot. I don't mind it. If I need it, I can just put my foot on it and push it down. And here is the locking rear differential, and it's a nice spot for your left foot. You can put it down and lock it in. It has to get it to work, you have to actually be slipping. If you are on dry pavement and you want to lock the differential, it won't lock in. The tires got to slip a little bit and then it'll lock in. The controls for forward, reverse, and brake are all on the same side. I think I do it a little different. I understand, the base model, the clutch is on the left side. I would really like to see the brake on the left side as well. There's times if you're on a steep hill, it'd be nice to be able to put your foot on the brake and then also on the forward reverse to get moving if you need to. There's enough room in the cab, for me at least, to swing my left foot over if I need to put my foot on the left foot on the brake and then right foot on the pedal to get moving. Just in case you're on a steep hill, it's nice. Again, here's the parking brake. Hold it, pull the lever up, and pretty much when you are operating it, if you want to get off, you got to put the gear shifter for the hydrostat in neutral and have a parking brake on. If you don't, the engine will shut off when you get off the seat. The directional shift, there's low, medium, high, 3-speed transmission. I use primarily medium and high, and then I also use low if I really need to get the power. It works. I'm happy with the speeds. The 3-speed works pretty slick. Here, so you can get closer, here's the cruise control, here's the auto manual PTO switch, and here's a switch that I installed for overhead lights. I haven't got them up, but I'm gonna get them up. I might do another video on that. So this is the carry-all that I picked up. This is the first purchase. I think within the couple days I went and got this carry-all frame. It is a county line carry-all frame. You can pick it up from Tractor Supply Company. I actually drove an hour to get it because I was the only one around that had it. And I attached it right away. And I ended up having a bunch of leftover cedar from a project in the past, an old deck project that we tore apart. And I added the platform on it. So this is the frame. I put a 2x4 around the backside so I gain clearance right here for the 3-point. But then it's just simple. The carry-all, the baseboards are attached right to the bottom part of the frame on the bottom side and bolted on. And then you got the back attached to the uprights. And then I just have some diagonal pieces that connect to make the sides. I've got these concrete weights. I think the two big guys on the blocks on the left are for setting a propane tank on, and I had these little blocks that I put in the middle. And like I said, this is really a perfect amount of weight that I have on this particular tractor, and I can lift pretty much up to the capacity on the loader with this. This is the only ballast is the carry-all and the weight I have on it. I also attached a hitch on here for moving trailers around if I need to. Nothing too extremely heavy. I can actually move my car trailer. Moved the boat the other day with it and the wood splitter. And all it is just, I've just got another 2x6 screwed underneath. And then I've got long bolts going all the way through to kind of provide a little support. I'm not too worried if it breaks. I can always replace the wood if I need to. Maintenance is actually pretty easy. There's directions in the owner's manual. It's not too bad. There's a lot of videos on the interwebs on the YouTube and a lot of conversations on forums, I believe. I did a video on doing the 50-hour service. I think I'll probably do another one at 100 hours maybe. I think there's some work I need to do at 100 hours. So it's not too bad. A couple of things to note. Again, grease the loader every 10 hours. It's per the owner's manual. It's very important. One thing I didn't do right away, I didn't do it until 50-hour service. Another issue that I found, and I've seen elsewhere, is the loader mounting bolts. It's very important to get the loader mounting bolts torqued. I think actually the owner's manual says every 25 hours. And what I mean by the loader mounting bolts, so go down here, down below, is right down underneath where the loader attaches to the frame of the tractor. There's mounting bolts. There's one. There's 3 here. I think there's 4 on the back side on either side. And I don't remember what size. I don't remember what size socket they take. But when I did the 50-hour service, I had not touched them prior to that. I got probably a good 50 to 70% of them. I got 1 to 2, or half to 3/4, maybe even a full turn, using just a breaker bar to get them tightened again. Another one that to check are the grease where these pins are for the lifting rams. Where these pins are, there's bolts on them. They seem to come loose too. So I at this 80-hour service, I went around and I tightened every one of them on the loader. That's a good thing to check on too. As you know, or you may not know, the Bobcat just started selling, and Bobcat just started selling tractors here recently. And pretty much the Bobcat tractors that you see at a Bobcat dealership are identical to the Kiotis. For instance, this is the CK3510SE from Kioti. The comparable, I think it would be the CT2035, correct me if I'm wrong, Bobcat. I believe the loaders are different a little bit, but the actual unit, the tractor, they're identical. I think their paint is colored different and the hoods are a little different for a little bit different headlight design, but the tractors are pretty much identical. When I went and got my 50-hour service parts, the parts I got were actually Bobcat parts, or the Bobcat box with a label over top of the standard Daedong part number that was on the filters. So I peeled the stickers off of the oil filters, and sure enough, they're the exact same data part number that were specified for the Coyote. So the parts are interchangeable between the Bobcat and the Coyote, so that's a good thing to know. I'll list in the description the service parts, the fuel filter, oil filter, hydraulic filters that match the Bobcat numbers to the Coyote numbers, and that'll help you out if you're looking for parts elsewhere. All right, this is something I wish I would have known before I had to go do Google search it. When I was doing an oil filter, I could not find where the oil fill hole was. It took me probably half an hour to figure out where the hell it was. Finally, after looking on YouTube and scanning through a video, I found it. It's right behind, so this is the fuel filter right here. The oil filter is right behind it, underneath it. It's kind of a bad spot. Oil filter's here, fuel filter, and oil fill. It's hard to, it's kind of tight. It's almost better to take the fuel filter off if you have it off, to when you're doing the oil filter. Pull the fuel filter off if you're going to change it, of course, and then fill the oil, put the new filter back on. But if you're not, you can get in there and pull the cap off. It's not that hard to turn, pretty loose. Again, this is the fuel filter. If you need to drain it, you can just turn this black plug on the bottom, and that'll drain out any water that's accumulated in the bottom of the bowl. Otherwise, the maintenance is pretty simple. Everything's spelled out in the owner's manual. Again, I'd like to have the service manual, but I don't have access to that right now. Let's talk about the motor a little bit. The Daedong motor, it's a 3-cylinder diesel on this CK3510SE. It's 35 horsepower. I believe it's a common rail diesel. It has the diesel particulate filter on it up inside, and it does regen whenever it needs to. It kind of freaked me out at first, the regen process, because the motor tone totally changes. It sounds totally different. It gets quieter, but then when you apply load, it sounds like crap for the most part. It does not sound very good. So if all of a sudden you're operating and it sounds different, that's probably going into regen mode. For me, the regen light doesn't show up until maybe a minute or two after it started sounding like horse poop for the most part, and then you have to let it idle. One key thing to note is where the exhaust is on the one side. If you're going to regen, if you want to park it while it's regenning, lift the loader up. I tip the bucket down and set the bucket on the ground and get the loader arms off the ground a little bit, so the exhaust is not blown directly on the inside of the loader arm. I think my Coyote Adventures, he melted the block that holds the hydraulic tubes on the inside of the loader arm when doing a regen mode. So that's something important to keep in mind. All right, let's talk about some pros and cons. We'll talk about some cons first. And I can't really explain this first one. It's hard to explain, and maybe it's just the way the motor works. At times, I can get it. I can usually replicate it. Let me shut the hood here. I usually can replicate it when it's warmed up, when the engine is warmed up and you've been running it for a while. If I let it sit and idle, or even not even idle, even if it's at higher RPMs and it sits for a minute or two, and I go to use it again, it seems like it doesn't. The motor doesn't catch up to what's doing. If I want to work a little hard, it kind of stumbles and spits and sputters over itself. I've talked to Coyote. I've talked to the dealer about it. I've actually taken it there and had them look at it, and they said it's normal with these motors. And I don't really think about it. So if you guys have these, do you notice anything if you let it sit, or if you have it hot, and then once you restart the motor, restart the engine, and you're going to put a load on it, for instance, for lifting up something, or if you push on the throttle a little bit too hard, does this sound kind of funny? Does it sound like it's not operating efficiently? And after a while, if I really push on it, it'll stumble, and then all of a sudden it'll catch up, it'll engage and go. So that's something I've noticed. It's not a big deal. I know how to kind of work around it. I've learned it, and I'm not sure. I've talked to the dealership, and they seem to think it's normal. So I guess it's just the way it is. Another con is I had that check engine light. Again, you'd think you'd have like it's water and fuel on the dash. They have the light there, just not connected. So that's kind of a pain. You got to go to the dealer, and I mean, who knows? They would have sent a driver up here an hour to come look at it. Luckily, I sent them the code from the readout on the LCD, and they were able to look it up and get an idea what it was, and had me drain the water out of the fuel bowl, and it was fine. Now let's talk about some pros. I really like this cockpit. I mean, when I sit in it, this cockpit feels really natural. I've running it. My loader arm, my loader controls are right here. My steering wheels are right here. I can usually have my arms on the armrest, and everything's right there. And once I get moving around, I sink down a little bit more. So it's almost perfect, for operating the loader up and down. Everything else, I mean, the tilt steering wheel fits nicely for me, at least. Being able to bounce the seat's really comfortable. Everything feels really, really good. And I also really like the pedals. When I was researching tractors, and I'm sure you probably see this elsewhere, I've got a John Deere lawn tractor, and that's got the 2-pedal designed for forward and reverse. I also had experience operating a smaller John Deere tractor as well, with a front loader, 3-point hitch on the back. I don't remember what model it is, but it has 2-pedal design for forward and reverse. And when I was researching buying a tractor, I did not want to get a John Deere. I didn't want to have the proprietary front attachment system for the loader. I wanted to be able to attach any skid steer style implement on the front if I wanted to. And so that kind of left me into, I mean, I'm sure I could have looked at New Holland or whatever, but local dealerships, I really want to do something a little more well-known. I was looking at Kubotas. Really, I was almost signed up to go buy an LX 2610. I really wanted one, but they had sold it. And then I started doing more research on the different YouTube channels I follow. They have the Coyotes, and really, really happy with it. And damn near, I mean, all of a sudden, here I am buying one. I went to Rice Lake and picked one up. And what really sold me on going to Coyote versus Kubota was the accelerator pedal, or the forward reverse pedal. The Kubota's got the throttle pedal, tilt pedal, whatever you want to call it. And forward, go forward, you tilt it forward. To go reverse, you tilt it back. And I'm sure I probably would have gotten used to it, but I didn't want to. I like the forward reverse separate pedal. It seems natural to me. I use it all the time, and I've been used to it. So that's the way I went, and that's the way I wanted it to be. That's it for pros. I mean, otherwise, I guess the biggest pro is that's a really nice tractor. I mean, the quality is really good. I've been happy with it. I mean, I got 85 hours on it, so I put 75 hours in it for myself. Maybe in a year, I might say something different, and I'll probably have another video out in a year after I own it for a year, or maybe up to 100 or 150 hours or something. But it's been really, really good. Works really good. It lifts a lot. I'm happy with it for moving firewood, doing dirt work around the house, and it's going to be a really great tool for me and the family on the property, and be very, very, very useful. But other than that, the tractor's great. I'm really happy with it. So what's the future hold for this tractor? It's not going anywhere. Right now, I've had it for about 6 months, and I expect it to have it for another 6, 10, 12, 15 years. But right now, I'm really happy with it. I might get one of those canopies over the top, so if it's raining out, I don't get soaked. I don't use it for snow blowing. I do some snow removal with a bucket right now. I may get a snow blower on the back. I doubt it. I've got plenty of snow removal equipment that I need or use. I really do want to get a third function valve in the calendar year of 2021. I hope to get it this spring, but we've been spending money a lot about other stuff right now. But hopefully in the calendar year of 2021, I can get a third function valve. At least the parts, I would look to do the install myself. Another good video, of course. And get that installed. I want to get a grapple someday. I think Brute Force has a nice design, and they're not that too far from me. Put a grapple on the front of the tractor for moving logs if I'm going to get more into this log firewood selling business. And get some more implements for the back. I'd like to get a box blade land plane would be pretty sweet. I could use a rototiller, correct some lawns, but I don't need it. It's of course a need versus want kind of a thing. A box blade is more of a need for me right now. But other than that, that's pretty much it as far as usefulness and implements in future. I don't see the tractor going anywhere very fast. It's gonna stick here, gonna use it, get some hours on it, and hang on to it for many years to come. All right, that's pretty much all I had for this tractor model review of the CK3510SE. Been really happy with it. Again, it's been a really great tractor. I think I've expressed that in a few videos now, how great it is. I don't know if I'd ever not have a tractor before, especially if I'm on property like I am right now. We're only on 10 acres, but I get plenty of use out of this tractor on 10 acres, moving logs, doing dirt work around the house, or moving firewood, brush, you name it, it can do it. And then I'm sure in the future, if I get some other implements or doing lawn repair or things like that, it's going to be great. So what do you think? I mean, what do you guys have? Let me know in the comments. Do you have any tractors at your house? What do you drive? What do you prefer? What do you like about it? What don't you like? Have you been able to operate a Kioti in the past? Let me know what you think. So anyways, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want. I think a lot of my viewers are not subscribers, so if you enjoy my videos, give it a little subscribe, and maybe hit the bell icon to see future videos coming out. Let me know what you think in the comments about the tractor, and until we see you in the next video, have a good week. Bye bye.